I saw this 60-minute video on YouTube on an Australian news channel, and this was about the 6 deaths that occurred in Laos, allegedly because of consuming methanol laced alcohol. 2 of the girls were 19-year-olds from Australia, and the rest were from, I think, Finland or UK. I might not be correct with the names of the countries, but there were around 6 backpackers, all in their teens, mostly girls, who were killed in this incident in Laos. So this is a point of concern because the government has not done much after this incident. It has only tried to downplay the incident, and allegedly the Finnish parents were not even informed about their girl's death, which was even more shocking because the authorities knew that it was due to the consumption of the spurious alcohol that led to this incident, and they were not even informed. I mean, this is outrageous. There are so many questions that come in my mind, and which I want to put it out there in the open, because number one, how does hostels even get to serve alcohol to its consumers? I mean, do they have a liquor license? You are supposed to have a valid liquor license, which is apparently not so easy to get. But in the Southeast Asian countries, I don't know even if they have a proper liquor license, and they just buy it over the counter, or they might have suppliers who supply them liquor, and it's all done in an illegal way, I suppose. The government should and is responsible, because there seems to be a lot of lapses here, and unless there is pressure from the top trickling down to the bottom, this is not going anywhere. This is not going to get solved. So I firmly believe that, I know there are a lot of incidents where people die from hooch liquor, especially in Asian countries, and but those are incidents where the perpetrators are traced and they are even brought to justice. Okay, and but here it's a little different. The Laotian government is trying to downplay the incident in the first place, because obviously it does not want to get tourism affected. But that's not how it should happen, right? It is the moral responsibility of the government to identify the perpetrators, conduct a thorough investigation, and bring them to justice. Unless otherwise, this is not going to get solved. Number 2, why is it that the caretaker of the hostel, the Nana Backpacker Hostel, or the owner of this hostel are allowed to go scot-free? I'm not trying to blame anyone here. Maybe the owner is unaware of what is happening behind his back. I'm just trying to say, I know how these things work, coming from an Asian country, I know how these things work. There are suppliers who go and approach hostels with a reasonable or cheaper price liquors, and sometimes the caretaker themselves try to, in order to make more profits, try to mix or enhance the quantity of alcohol by mixing similar substances, in this case maybe methanol. And it is learned that methanol, when consumed even in smaller quantities like 30 ml, can be dangerous and life-threatening. And apparently here we don't know if the caretaker had mixed more volume in order to increase the liquor. And you know what they do? They consume the original liquor themselves, and then they replace it with things like methanol. And even the owner of this hostel might not be aware. The owner might have got it from a genuine place sometimes, or the suppliers might be genuine. I really suspect the caretaker. They are the ones who do this, because they are the ones who are taking care of these bottles, and the owner might not be there at all times. But that doesn't take away his responsibility. He should have this thing monitored at all times using CCTV. How much of it is going out to the consumers, and how much of it is being handled and by whom. And there should be a record of how much is being served. Okay, these things matter. It's not about taking care of the cost, but it's all about how things are managed, because people's lives are at a risk here. So I really think what has happened is the caretaker has siphoned off the real alcohol, replaced it with methanol. Obviously is answerable to the owner about the quantity of the liquor, and that is where the loophole is. I don't think the supplier would have done this, but I'm not denying that. But the supplier would have given the same spurious liquor to every other hostel. So if this hostel alone has caused deaths, then I really suspect the caretaker of this hostel, the Nana Backpacker Hostel in this case, and only a lie detector test can reveal the truth. Okay, the Laos government cannot just shrug away from its responsibility, because at the end of the day, people are trusting your government and coming to your place, and you're getting money out of it. So it is your duty and responsibility to protect your tourists. Okay, so they need to do a thorough investigation, and I am telling you, catch hold of this caretaker of this hostel, make him undergo a lie detector test, and only then the truth is going to come out. Otherwise the truth is not going to come out. And I think unless this happens, unless there is justice that is given to the parents, I don't think people should go to Laos, okay, and they should completely boycott Laos, and only then the government, I think they will come to their senses and do something about it. Otherwise, this is not going anywhere. It's very important that there is a complete boycott of Laos in support of these 6 victims. Else, this is not going to end here. This is a serious issue. It could happen to anyone. I have been in these hostels where, and that is one more problem that I would want to highlight. Being a backpacker myself and having stayed at these hostels, what happens is on one day of the week, the hostel says, and this is all done in order to, attract young people to their hostels, and because they make money out of them, so they offer free drinks on the house on one day of the week. I think this should be stopped, and the government should take action on implementing strict rules for serving alcohol, because when this happens, people go crazy. It's just poured out of the bottle directly into the mouths of these tourists, and there is no limit. And you might wonder, how is it even possible? How can one serve unlimited liquor? The reason is it is laced with something else. It's not original content, and that's why you get unlimited liquor. And when any hostel tells you that we are giving you unlimited liquor, I think you should get very careful and not indulge into it and not give into it. I see a lot of Europeans do this. They go to hostels, and basically they are just out of school, and they are in their 2 years of backpacking trip. Okay, they take a long vacation, and they end up in these hostels, and most of them don't even go out. Sometimes they are just in the hostels by the pool, having a great time and just partying by the pool and drinking and all this stuff. And that's the reason these hostels want to attract these young people and serve them with alcohol, and they say we are giving free alcohol on a Wednesday, just come to our hostel, and this is contaminated alcohol. I think methanol instead of ethanol has been added, and that is the main reason. I don't think of anything else. It was not intentional, but it was only greed, and I think this has to be addressed, not just by Laos, but every other country, every other Southeast Asian country especially, which are attracting backpackers. And there should be a law prohibiting free alcohol to backpackers. I mean, that's just insane. It's impossible to give free alcohol. The hostels themselves are very cheap, less than $10 sometimes. And how can you even give them free alcohol in that money with that price? It's simply not possible. So, and unless there is regulation by the government, this is not going to happen, because you can't just expect one or few hostels to take this precautionary measure of banning alcohol. They won't do that. Okay, so the government has to tell them, okay, you're calling backpackers, then you cannot serve alcohol unless you have a valid license. And to have a license, they need to undergo strict process and audits. Audit is very important. If they don't undergo this audit, they shouldn't be given a license, and if they don't have a license, they just should not serve alcohol. It's as simple as that. Now I think the government is responsible because the rules are being flouted and the government is not checking on them. So I think the government is very much responsible here, as much as the owner, as much as the caretaker. So everyone here is responsible. If I were the judge in a court, I would hold all these three people responsible, and the higher the authority, the higher the responsibility. The government is the first accused. I would make the owner as the second accused, and I would make the in charge as the third accused, and maybe the supplier as the fourth accused. Maybe the supplier is the one who has adulterated the alcohol, or maybe the caretaker who has done it. But I think it's the responsibility of the government of the day, to have regulations in place. And if regulations are not in place, they should be responsible for this. It is not just one stray incident. These have happened in Southeast Asia, and this is a very serious one, and still there is no proper action. And there have been efforts by the local authorities to just brush it under the carpet. This is simply not acceptable. So if they are not going to take action, I think it is the moral responsibility of all tourists to ban Laos. I think we need to hit them where it hurts. Only then they will come back to their senses and take appropriate action against these hostels and bring about some law, so that young people in their teens are not killed while they are on a trip outside away from their parents, no one to look after them, and in shitty places where there is no proper hospitals to treat them. And I saw this video, and they even showed the hospitals, and that I don't even remember the name of the place, but it was I don't get a sense of good hospitalization facilities by just looking at that the building. It's so it's such a, I don't know, I don't have words, but you get the point. So I think the people should realize their responsibility of not letting their children to go to these places, or tell them that when you go there, if you want to drink, you carry your own liquor. I don't think they prohibit outside liquor. You carry your own liquor, drink it responsibly, and behave responsibly. Not just accept alcohol from an open source. And I think we need to check that if they have a valid license for serving alcohol, and if they don't, you don't drink from them. I think we also need to learn our lessons Yeah, I think everyone is responsible, and at the end of the day, it is your life. You need to analyze if something is for free. Why are they doing it? Nothing comes for free. There is some motive behind that, and not everybody intentions might be good. So please realize that and be responsible. And I would again say, ban Laos. All backpackers, all tourists should have this responsibility of completely banning Laos, unless the perpetrators of this crime are brought to justice. Only then tourism can resume in this country. Thank you for watching.